బాగున్నారు. ఓకే. సో బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ చేశారా? నేను తెలుగు 1 yearలో what? Yeah, when I am trying to learn again. So when I come next year, I will definitely, my speech will be in Telugu half the speech, definitely. Google translation, I am trying to put English sentences and then trying to do the Telugu version of it. It's a very beautiful language. In 2006, when I was taking coaching for Kannada optional literature, so it was by a famous Kannada poet and critic in Karnataka. So he had written so many books. So he used to always say that Telugu is such a beautiful language, especially when it comes to music, right? So any raga can be composed easily in Telugu. So I used to wonder, and then you might have heard rank 47, Chandra Navi, sub-collector of Vijayawada. He put his hobby as watching Telugu movies. So in the hobby section, and by watching Telugus again and again and again, he speaks so good Telugu, and he didn't have to make any effort in the academy. So he is my motivation now. So I watched Arjun Reddy and but not too many. Like earlier it is Anjali and like very critically acclaimed, criticized movies. Right, those kind of movies I watched, and I'm beginning to learn Telugu so that our communication can be more effective. So in both Telangana and Andhra. Yesterday I happened to meet some people in Delhi center also. I came from Delhi. So they were speaking in Banjara. So suddenly it occurred to me like, it sounded like Marathi. Are you speaking in Marathi? And then they said, we are speaking in Banjara. That is spoken, where is it spoken? You don't know. So maybe some parts of tribal, I don't know. It sounded like mix of Telugu and Marathi. So anyways, so that was, breaking the ice. So with you people, welcome you all to our Hyderabad center. So I'm very happy to see all of you here, and we could get all the local support here. I'm very glad that local people here are very supportive, and they are making the entire process very easy for us. So I'm thankful to them also. And now coming to UPSC preparation, I think you got very good introduction. So now what is happening with the UPSC? What is happening with civil services? Now that I want to speak, how you can make your preparation more effective, right? So when it comes to preparation, there are so many things, so many misconceptions, so many wrong guidances that are given again and again to students, that despite having so much of potential, people again and again fail, both in prelims, in the main stage, even in the interview stage also. That is mainly because of wrong guidance. And we started the insights, to break the conventional approach. That is where the conventional approach is, most of the times it is one-sided. A teacher comes here, they speak to you, they teach you, they give you notes, they will recommend few notes, textbooks, everything, and then they walk out. And then it is up to you. So when you start reading a textbook, when you start solving a test, and when you want to write answers, you are like clueless from where to get it evaluated. So am I writing the answer properly? Am I giving film test series in the right direction? Why my marks are not improving even after giving again and again? Sometimes what happens, you may score good marks in film test series, but despite that you will fail in the actual prelims exam. So there are things related to preparation, that is gaining knowledge, and then there are things related to how to give exam also. So there is a mindset required to give exam also properly. So when you go to prelims and mains, even in interview. So my session will briefly talk about all these things. So let us start with the very basic things when it comes to preparation. Like can it be done in 1 or 2 attempts? Everybody, when you start dreaming about clearing this exam, you come with the belief, you come with the notion that I must clear this exam in 1 attempt, 2 attempts, then it drags on to second, third attempt. So why does it happen? What is the basic reason? Over the year, in my experiences, I have seen that I already talked about it, the wrong guidance and everything. So So what is happening is the mismanagement of the whole preparation. So you are not planning it well. Right? You are not planning it, the exam the way it should be dealt with. You are not understanding the actual UPSC demand of the exam. So you tend to join one test series, then another test series, like you join optional also, you join prelims also, at the same time you join mains test series also. So when you have too many timetables to follow, what usually happens is you end up following none. So the management of the entire process, the planning and having a proper plan, timetable. So that is fundamental to getting a rank in this exam. So I have seen some freshers, they might have given 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours to their preparation. But when they have one plan on which they have 100% faith that no matter what, I will follow this plan A to Z, from day one to last day, whatever is being given to me, the assignment, everything, if I follow it regularly, that too under right guidance. The guidance is extremely important. So I have seen these candidates going on to get very good ranks in that in their respective attempts. What happens with insights is usually people roam around everywhere to do a very local word, like the sentence for that in Kannada they say Konkana Sutti Mailara, which means you roam around everywhere. You go to Vajiram, Sriram, ALS, you join Vision, everything. Then they come to Bangalore. Then they come to Insights. After exhausting 3-4 attempts, so many wasted attempts. So that is fine. Okay, we are thankful that you have that trust. But another thing is they come and ask discount also. Now we have spent so much of money in Vajiram. Vajiram is like top. It's like with nearly 2 lakh rupees you have spent. Then Vision and all, everywhere you have spent money. Then you come to, like, we have that face also, So kind of philanthropic face that we have over the years developed, which we are continuing. Hopefully we'll continue in Hyderabad also. We don't mind. So money is the byproduct of your success. So that is what I keep believing that. So our focus will be more on your success. If you succeed, naturally everything will follow. So why we are in Hyderabad? Because of good result, what we got in Bangalore. And then we went to Hyderabad. Within one and a half month, we had 500 students who have enrolled. Every day, 5 to 10 students keep coming and enrolling there. And everybody is happy that, we are finally there. So I was like, there are 2 inside in Delhi. So because students are getting confused, whenever students come, we tell them there are 2 inside are there. If you give rating in Google Map, it will be very helpful for us so that people will rightly identify our academy. Then they say, you want to reason, I have already given 5 stars for your institution. So then they open and show that, okay, this is the rating I have given. So that is the kind of trust we have in Delhi. Hopefully it will continue here also. Now coming back to again the fundamental question, I don't want to deviate. Now what is the plan for you people? So sensing that following too many timetables will be detrimental to your own success, we came up with integrated prelims cum mains test series, and it has become a hit. Like, we have got so many registrations. So in this integrated prelims cum main test series for Hyderabad, we have we have again come up with a new timetable. There are days are less between the tests, but what we have done is so that you can start from test 1 year. So instead of starting with the backlogs and having when there are backlogs, again you won't write any test. You are confused like whether to start from test 1 or whether to start from the next test. So sensing that, we have come up with a new timetable from where the 21st onwards you will have to start with test 1. Now the timetable is so well designed that again the basic approach to exam should be integrated. The earlier method before 2013, it used to work. You prepare for prelims till December, then January onwards you have to prepare for prelims. Now that won't work anymore. For both prelims and mains, what UPSC is doing is that it is testing your 1 year of solid preparation. So there should be 1 year preparation both for prelims and both for mains. Now, what is the 1 year preparation? 1 year preparation where you go on to get the conceptual clarity on everything that is there in the syllabus. So that is what it has come to. They are focusing more on, they are making it more subjective. The prelims is objective test, yet if you see that it demands more of thinking nowadays. Earlier people could complete prelims in 1 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes. Now even the 2 hours is less. Have you noticed that? So why is that? It is not to intentionally make the exam more difficult because of the challenges that are there in the civil services as part of our democracy in India. So now they need an aspirant who can think and come up with on-the-spot solution. Right? So that is the basic intention. So when you are in the prelims examination, all you should be able to think there. Now if you see that 30% of the questions where you know exact answer in prelims. Earlier it used to be like at least 40-50%. Why it is getting reduced? The kind of question they are asking is making you think very hard, come up with a right answer in that moment. The same thing is happening in the mains. More subjective questions, opinion-based questions, and less static questions. And these two require integrated preparation where you cannot separate facts and analysis. Ultimately, the facts and analysis must be carried forward, together. So that is where this IPM comes. In addition to IPM, we have something called secure initiative. I've seen that inside secure initiative. Yeah. So these two must be integrated. Okay. For secure also we have a timetable. When it comes to integrated prelims come main test series, say for example it starts with art and culture. The first part of the various forms of art and culture from ancient to modern times in the main syllabus. So in prelims also we have the same topic. When you are actually reading a source on art and culture, let us say class 11th NCERT introduction to art and culture, or art and culture is spread across class 6 to 12th NCERTs, except 11th class. If you ask me, these two sources are more than enough for you to complete art and culture. Now people go with so many other books, basically it is not needed. Right? When you are reading these books, NCERT textbooks, from mains point of view, at the same time what you are doing, you are trying to memorize, you are trying to remember all the art and culture related facts, right? Because you will have to write 150 word answer or 250 word answer in the examination. In addition to that, there will be opinion part. For example, UPSC asked the question, need of the hour is to preserve India's art and heritage, something like that. So there is opinion part is also involved. So when you are preparing NCERT for art and culture, you will have to remember facts. At the same time, you will have to think of the context. Say for example, if you are reading Islamic architecture, right? You visualize all the Islamic architecture and you will have to think what kind of question might come in the mains. So because of IPM, when the mains component is there, you are thinking in that direction. At the same time, prelims is also there, you are memorizing the facts. Now assume only prelims is there, what will happen? Your focus will shift only on familiarizing the things. So you think that okay, I will read each and everything. Okay. So that I can recall in the examination hall. Because of IPM, you will overcome that danger where you won't focus only on facts or just the opinion part. You are now forced to remember both the content as it is from the textbook. So it actually helps immensely in prelims compared to only prelim test series where you are going to focus more on facts. If you go through this timetable, join this program, what will happen? Your prelim score will also improve. In addition to that, there are two things that are fundamental to maximizing your marks in the UPSC prelims and mains. One is, as I already said, prelims is getting tougher in terms of testing your thinking skill. That is basically elimination skills, intelligent guessing skills. So all those inference, all those skills. The same thing has brought to CSAT also. Why they are making comprehension more tougher? So the comprehension are more tougher because it demands intensive thinking, right? When you come out of the examination, you can answer them. But in the examination, the options are so close, the options are so confusing. You must have clarity, right? Again, that is testing how you are reading the current affairs, how you are reading the editorials. The solution is again secure. Two things that are fundamental is every day, no matter all of you sitting here, I'm sure are dreaming of becoming IAS, IPS, some of you may be foreign service, some of you IRS. These four services, what people, everyone aspires. When you are aspiring for these services, you shouldn't prepare like an average aspirant. Especially when you are at inside some people have this fear. We cannot go to inside because it is advanced, or they make us to write more and all. So you will have to be up to your own capabilities to clear this exam in 1 or 2 attempts. So for that, what an average candidate does, I will tell you, they don't do answer writing every day. They don't solve MCQs every day. Slightly above average candidate, what he or she does is, we have posting quiz every day, like 5 questions. They do 5 questions every day, with static another 5 questions. And then, above average candidate might try to write one answer today and another answer some other day. Right? It is like on and off. But the candidate who is so determined, right, who has the clarity that, no matter what I must get through in this attempt, knows that what they do is that they solve more than 30-40 questions MCQs every day. Why they do this? Because this not only enhances your knowledge, but it also improves your skills. The skills of elimination, skills of guessing, this is extremely important part. So when it comes to prelims, again, average candidate, what he or she does, after March they start taking all the question papers and try to answer all the questions. Right? Like you take up all the questions that are available in the market and then you try to solve all the question papers, which doesn't work. As I said, it is 1 year preparation. The skills suddenly won't improve 1 or 2 months before your prelims. So it should start from now only. Then they write at least 2 to 3 answers every day. I spoke to rank 5, before that rank to Anukumari, Sakshi, we had Nandini, and before that we had Neha Kumari. So Neha Kumari used to write minimum 8 answers every day, secure. She started in February, till May she used to write like 8 answers every day, minimum. So those who want to be in this game, like those who, if you want to rank, what you need to do, you should have a target in mains. Say 950 marks in mains will ensure top on the track even if your score is 130, 140 in interview. Okay, so the 950 magic figure should be there in your mind in the mains. So for that, somewhere you should aim for 150 marks in essay, 450 at least 460, 70 marks in from 4 GS papers, and minimum 300 marks in optional papers. These will not come if you are making the mistake of 2 things: reading again and again, making notes. Everybody is in this race. I want to make the best notes. I want to make notes from diverse sources, and I want to read the book again and again. Or I want to read the new material which comes. Very few people focus on applying the knowledge. And applying the knowledge means whatever you have read, whatever notes you have made, you use that. Think about that content. Take previous year question paper, take question paper from test series, apply that knowledge. If you are not daily applying that knowledge, what I said, 2 things: writing daily answers, solving MCQs is part of this application of knowledge. Whether you are a fresher, whether you join coaching, whether you are have given attempts, failed multiple times, suddenly shift your case to application of knowledge. So there is a wrong guidance. You shouldn't write answers from day 1. You should write answers and essays only after completing the coaching, after gaining enough knowledge. Right? These are all nonsense. It is the old school ideas. Whatever you read on that day, say you listen to something in the coaching classes, come in the evening and write answers on that. Start with a very basic question. You don't have to start with advanced question. So if you want to start this secure now, start with a very basic question. Okay? And never be afraid of writing a very poor, very bad answer. So this is one thing why people are afraid to write answers. So they are afraid to write answers or writing essays because they think that I am going to write very poor, very bad, very ridiculous essay or answer. Everything starts from the worst to best, right? It starts from failures. So you will have to prepare your mind to write a very poor quality answer. And when you come and show your answer, now luckily you have insights. There will be mentors here. So what will happen here is that whenever if you join the program, when you write answers, when you write essays, you can bring them anytime here, right? So myself will be coming, our faculty from Bangalore. So we want to change that, give the personal touch to your preparation, in terms of giving feedback. So when you come here, we will be there to evaluate your answer, personally check where you can improve. So we will be doing that part in Hyderabad on a regular basis as part of IPM also. So you will have to do your part. Now what happens, you listen to, usually what happens again, an average candidate, what he or she does, they listen to these lectures multiple times. And when they go back, what will happen? Right? Some of that is again my observation. Out of crowd like this, there will be exceptional individuals, like 4, 5, 10 individuals who get that fire inside of them. Acha, I didn't know about this. I didn't ever, go with this approach. So once they come to know, what they do is, no matter what others are going to, they won't go for second opinion, number one. They will not ask for second opinion, will it work or not. They have faith and they will start doing it. Because what is the harm in doing this? Right? That is the best portion of your preparation, where you are applying your knowledge, where you are on the regular basis. It is now what is happening. I keep giving this analogy that most of the aspirants are busy eating and getting fat. All these coaching institutions, all these materials are like your breakfast, lunch, dinner. You consume, you eat, and become fat, and then something will happen. But nobody is willing to come to gym. Right? Inside is gym. This is your jogging track. So that is difficult in real life. For me it is easy, but in physical life, where for me also gym is on and off. Right? But that is fine. When it comes to your preparation, where your kind of your career is at stake, where you have dreams, right? Not just passing IAS, beyond IAS. You have dreams for your country, you have dreams for your family, your community, the society where you come from. These can be realized. There is easy way out actually. That is what our motto, simplifying the IAS exam preparation. Focus on answer writing. Focus on solving the questions. How much knowledge you want to gain. Stop gaining the knowledge. Right? Stop gaining the knowledge. What I mean is, static, if you have already read, just take up the questions, through that, start using it, applying it. Of course, there is current affairs dimension which needs regular updation. So that part is taken care by secular and current affairs based on our website. Right? So these must be there in your mind whenever walk out, whenever you want to buy material. Why are you buying a material? Why do you want to buy another material? Is it to make notes, is it to enhance knowledge, or is it to enrich your answer? Change the mindset. It must be to enrich your answer. So you should come to know my answer is not that of good quality. I want to enrich my answer. I want to enrich my essay in terms of the content, dimension, ideas, arguments, all those things. Okay. So that is there constantly in your mind, running every time, throughout your aspirant life. Then you will actually see improvement, the progress, both in terms of scores in prelim test series, knowledge, and also in terms of confidence. You will actually feel that, now I am doing, now I get the feedback. Students in Delhi who have come from INSIGHTS to other institutions, they keep telling me one thing: when we were at INSIGHTS, that was the best phase of my preparation. Right? So they create material. They write hundreds of answers, optional. We make them. I give target by December, write minimum 300 optional answers. You write 300 optional answers. Right? Now what is the 10% of 300? 30. Right? 20% is 60. So why I am asking is that, so when you write 300 answers, say from last 10-15 years question papers, the probability of at least 10% questions getting repeated in actual mains is very high. So when you have set up already, all the 300 answers ready with you, all you need after prelims is to improvise them, add value to that, depending on your optional, diagrams, case studies, whatever it is, and then go to exam, already the answers. The same is the secure. In secure, what happens? If I ask you to write minimum 2 answers every day, starting from now to next mains, there are 365 days. Let us have 300 days also. So if you write 2 answers regularly, like you are writing minimum 600 answers. So 10% of 600 answers is 60 questions. But we see that 80% of the mains questions can be linked back to either secure or current affairs or the articles which we give as part of secure. Right. So this is simplifying the entire process. Current affairs must not be consumed, read again and again, must be used to enhance your analytical skills. That can be done only through secure initiative, the regular answer based. Then coming to IPM, now the secure, what is secure? It is basically gaining the knowledge. So you are learning something. But you will have to come to the examination hall, sit in the exam-like conditions, and then you will have to test your knowledge, application part. So the IPM, because every test has 20 questions, the mains questions, there are like 46 mains tests, right? If somebody is regular from test 1 to 46 tests, I will tell you, you will write 20 out of 20 quality answers by March itself. Even if you are reaching 20 papers, test 1 to test 20, if you are having a trouble of answering 20 questions in 3 hours, you will overcome this speed problem. If the secure is part of your routine, solving like 30, 40, 50 MCQ is part of your routine, the quality of your answer will also improve in addition to the quantity. So divide your day in such a way that some of the time is allocated to answer writing, some of the time is allocated to solving multiple choice questions, and some part, 3 to 4 hours is given to preparing for the IPM or the prelim test series. Some 3 hours is given for optional. So this is the ideal way to divide your day, rather than giving entire month only for optional or another month for only for GS, and then everything for prelims post January. If you do this approach, now dividing your day not only brings discipline, it also improves your analytical skills. Believe me, it actually improves your analytical skills, because you will start making interlinkages in your answers and essays. Something you read, you get some fact in prelims, then some opinion in your secure, or some content in the static textbook. So when you are doing that, you try writing an essay. How many of you written essays here as part of your practice? Some of you written. Usually what happens if you are reading modern India, say for 1 week regularly, then try to write any essay, you will tend to bring modern Indian content in the essay. That will have impact on the way you write essay. Right? So when the content is mixed on day-to-day basis, your essay will also have diverse content rather than having influence of only one subject. For evaluator, it is a delight, to see multiple dimensions in your essay or even in your answers. So that is why this kind of preparation, where you divide your day into 3-4 parts of the exam, will have so much impact on your quality of essays, thinking, right? The interlinkage, you might have heard, there should be more dimensions in your answer essays, there should be interlinkages. It doesn't come suddenly, maybe it comes as part of your preparation, right? So any doubts till here? So we'll have a question and answer test.
Should we revise the MCQs also? Should we notes and should we revise it?
Okay, his question is that should we revise MCQs that we do every day, or should we make notes? Now, to answer that question, how will you go about? If I ask you to do MCQs every day, what should be the mode of choosing those MCQs? Number one question.
So it takes a lot.
Yeah, right. So what you need to do? Say you start with art and culture test. So you are reading art and culture. What you need to do is, before you come to the art and culture prelims test, try to complete all previous year art and culture MCQs. Align solving MCQs also with the IPM timetable, right? So what you can do, so daily split into, you choose 50 questions to solve daily. How it can be done is, so morning as soon as you wake up, do some 10 questions, right? Say like half an hour, 1 hour, and then say after breakfast 5 questions. After lunch, use them as stress busters rather than sitting for 2 to 3 hours and solving 50 MCQs, which again become burdensome. Rather than what you can do, split 5 or 10 questions in the entire day. So as some part of exercise, mental exercise, right? So that is the best way to not to feel it as a burden. So that is what we ultimately feel. Whatever we do, we take it as burden, and that is another biggest drawback. Writing answers, don't treat it as burden, treat it as something you love to do, right? The moment you start loving everything, what you do, everything becomes simple, right? So in this exam preparation, it is not like love of two individuals where it is complex, right? So here it becomes simple here. Okay. So is it clear for you? No, it is not like 50, like you can start with 20, 30.
After practice, should we
Yeah, the second question is, should we make notes or what? So if you ask me, don't try to make any notes from these questions. Don't try to even revise also. What you can do is, there is prelim test after every mains test. So it is the prelim test which we give 100 questions. So that before the 100 question, revise very well. Okay, revise whatever you have read, art and culture. Some of the questions which are important that you can revise. It's coming to improving your prelim scores, and there is a clear-cut strategy for you to clear prelims. So if you can just note down these two things. I mean, this is a very difficult thing to do, but again, to clear you have to do difficult things. So what is this now? How you can clear prelims in one attempt? Like I am taking about GS one paper where you can score 110 to 120 plus. So the moment you are taking up from prelim test series, two things must be done. Before the prelims, what is the tendency? Say exam is going to start at 9 o'clock, till 8:45 you are reading for the test. Now you want to acquire as much as knowledge before the test. What you are not doing is you are not revising. You are not revising what you have read. There is no time for it. So for that, you will have to be selectively reading most important topics half day before the prelim test. Say it is starting tomorrow 9 o'clock. Now today 1 o'clock. You stop reading everything. Right? Have very good lunch. Then after having lunch, don't sleep. So after lunch, start revising whatever you have done in the entire week. What is happening to the old things that you have learned? You are forgetting them. You are not able to recall very concretely. So you are not making effort to concretize, reinforce what you have already learned. That must be done again and again and again and again. So before the prelims, before the mock test, half day before the test, just avoid the temptation of reading anything new. It's very difficult, the temptation, right? So half day before the test, revise the textbooks, revise the questions, some of the questions you have solved, some of the notes you have made, everything, and then come to the test. Now the second dimension is, after giving the test, what most of the people do, they see how many once they get the solution, they will test how many questions they have got right and how many they have got wrong. So the ones they have got wrong, they will scan through, like in 1 hour, maximum 2 hours, or just ABCD, they will click, मेरा marks कम आ रहा है तो छोड़ दो उसको, something that attitude. Here, believe me, minimum 8 hours you must give for the test. 100 questions which are there, say you give 9 to 11 the test. So go back to your room, take the test solution, on all the 100 questions, read, intensively. You have to analyze each and every question, each and every option that are given in the test. Say there is a question on national park, there are 4 national parks are given. So let us assume this particular river passes through this particular national park. So which of the following is that national park? So they are given 4 options. Now the solution says that okay, A is the right option, and we give details about the option A. But there is B, C, D. There are three more national parks which you haven't heard about. So as an aspirant, you must be inquisitive, right? Curious. So on that BCD also you should learn some three facts and note down within the solution document. So doing this exercise for every question will consume at least 10 to 15 minutes. So that is why I'm saying, minimum 8 hours it will take. If you do this right now, after every test, it hardly takes 2 hours to revise it in the month of March. When we start the revision timetable, inside 75 days revision plan. So when we start, we give revised test 1. It will hardly take 2 hours. In the second revision, it will take only 1 hour. If you don't invest that much time, you will have to invest that much time in the month of March, which you don't do. The tendency is to solve as many questions on the surface level and leave it. Right? That is again very dangerous. If you do these two things for every test, because you have a timetable, after every test, before every test, revision before every test, analysis of entire document after test, if we keep on doing, believe me, by March, everyone sitting here, if everyone does this, blindly will score 120 plus marks in prelims. GS1, like sure shot success. Why I am so confident? The revision plus daily MCQs plus analysis of the test, will improve your skills so much. And it is worked out strategy. I have seen so many people scoring 130, 140 who have followed this strategy. But they are different. This is the general outline. Some people make notes out of all 100 questions. They keep ready. Right? Some of that comes to use in the next attempt also. Right? So it is this mode of preparation, you don't have to complicate anything. Okay. So after thoroughly perfecting one test series, solve as many test series as possible. Right? Solve as many questions. That is in the month of March, April, May. Right now, don't enroll any 2 test series, just join 1 test series. Use it thoroughly, in and out, just quiz it. Then you go for other test series in the market, just for the practice sake. Now again the tendency is, most of the time, solve all test series like one time. So again that won't help you. So will you do this? Yes or no? Yes. So how many of you will actually go and practice it? Can I see your hands? Some of you are not raising your hands. Oh, why? Yeah, please. See, you will have to believe. You will have to believe in what I am saying. You will have to believe in your own abilities. I don't know what kind of personalities everyone has here. But if you start believing that I have to change my mindset, I have to improve my capabilities in this manner and go on to redesign my daily routine in this manner and be consistent with this kind of routine. So that is my favorite word, consistency. If you are consistent with what you are doing, right, so that automatically will get you the result. So why we are in Hyderabad, why we are in Delhi? Because we are consistent. Right? Consistent with the way we give the test timetable, posting the secure, posting the current affairs every day. Right? There are like thousands of websites which came after us. Those who are not consistent, they will perish. Right? Those who are consistent, they will again become more competitors. Right? So the same with you. If you are not consistent with what you are doing, even if it is imperfect, what you are doing, if it is consistent, it will yield some result. So for that consistency, what is the common question? I lack motivation. 2 days I will do it, 1 week I will do it, after that I lose my motivation. From where will I bring my motivation? So what is the source of your motivation? I have a perfect answer for that. No. So he is saying Vinay Sir, no. So I am not the motivation because I am not IAS or IPS. The people say I am kingmaker, but yeah, smile at it and no king will ever come again. You make the kings and queens also. Who are busy in their own lives. Right? So what is the source? What should be the source of motivation for you? From where will you get that desire? Like in one attempt you will have to prepare in this manner. Just get out of this exam. Yes.
Goal.
Goal. Good. Then
Interviews.
what?
Interviews.
Reading toppers interviews. Good. For some people that is a source of inspiration. Then
Purpose to start it.
purpose. What is the purpose of? Yeah, that is my goal. What is the purpose of you being here? Why are you? What is the purpose behind your entire journey? Then what else? Introspection. Okay, like what? Two things it can be like why I am failing or what is mine. So getting the clarity basically through introspection. Then anything else? Yeah. Looking different. Yeah. Thinking different from the crowd. Yeah, that is in a way that's a good answer. But if you ask me, the answer is or must be one word, that is ambition. When you don't have ambition itself, then you become ordinary person. Ordinary thinking, the ordinary way of living the life. But when you have ambition, that no matter what, I don't want to be ordinary. I want to achieve this goal. This goal of getting into IAS. Again, your ambition shouldn't stop at getting IAS. Getting IAS, getting into services is a lesser ambition. Think about the future, like 10 years, 20, 30 years. Nowadays we are meeting a diverse kind of people. Like, as part of, we have started an initiative called INSIGHTS. So where we are bringing, all the accomplished personalities in their own respective fields. So what we are trying to do is that, so as part of our discussion, when we go and interact with them, what we are seeing is that they are successful because of their own failures. Most of them have failed. And at the same time, they have been successful because of ambition. Right? So for you, the ambition should be, when we speak, like, the secretaries or, the people who had foreign assignments as part of bureaucracy, their actions, their ideas have actually changed the entire country. Now, it has changed lives of so many people. It has reformed education, health, infrastructure, judiciary, justice, everything. So your ambition should be that level. So you have to reach that level where your impact should be widespread. So when you think of a bigger ambition, these what you are going through, the small things, they appear as very small in front of that bigger ambition. So when you feel, that is what it happens with, are you able to relate to what I am trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have clarity about what you want to become. So when you are super ambitious, I want to achieve this at any cost, then whatever you complain about, not having good food, not having good accommodation, not having guidance or whatever it is, ambitious people chase people. They chase their dreams. They wait for their opportunities. They just grab it whenever they can have an opportunity at it. So that is what must be your approach and mindset. If that is not there, that ambition is not there, the motivation, how much ever YouTube videos you watch, TED Talks you watch, listen to the toppers, read toppers articles, you won't come. You may be able to relate with their stories and all those things, but if there is no that burning desire, it will always remain a dream. So never complain about lack of motivation. Right? So for us, as an institution, the motivation is you. So my ambition, like what is like our institution ambition? To see you rank. I keep dreaming. Can I get first rank from this crowd? Can I get?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, louder, yes? Very good, nice. So how many of you are so ambitious? And that is part of ambition. Not just yes, first rank. Believe me, it is so easy to get first rank. So really, whatever I am telling, if you do it sincerely, you are actually not fighting for clearing prelims or clearing mains or clearing interview, but your ambition is to be in top one. I keep seeing those I told Nandini very clearly when she was about to write mains. I told her you will definitely be in top 10 because I had seen her from February to November when she was writing mains. The kind of answer, the kind of growth. I was confident you will be in top 10 even if you score low marks in interview. Then because her personality was so mature and I took personal mock also. We took mock also. And then after getting the mark, I said she will not get less than 190 marks in the interview. Then I told after the mark, I tell you, outrightly, I tell you, you are going to get first rank. Right? So there is a Kannada interview where she gave that. Sir used to joke that, the sir used to say that, I would get rank 1, I would tell sir that, sir, don't joke, sir, something like that. Maybe you won't believe that as an aspirant, when somebody says you are going to get rank 1, you cannot easily relate to that. Right? So why I could say that? One, because of the personality, the discipline. So she used to come write tests from morning to evening. She was part of the core batch. Again, we are bringing core batch here also from January. She was part of the next test. And once in 10 days, once in 15 days, meet me. I used to be the one person in 2017 who used to handle everything. There was no one else in the institution. So come with essay answers, get them evaluated, and see one character, one personality trait that I saw in her was, or in any other topper, constant desire for improvement. Sir, find out a mistake. In this essay, don't give me good mark, don't prize. Find out a mistake. Read it twice, but find out a mistake. Read my answer, find out a mistake. Right? So next time that mistake would have been rectified, but new mistake would be there. Right? So that is part of the growth. You will commit new mistake. So as the main progress, we could see the quality of answers. So I was already confident about our options because she had scored previously very good marks. So when the factors were so favoring, one could tell looking at her essay answers, the previous optional marks, she was doing well in optional test series also. And then the personality interview. The same thing I had said to Sachin Gupta. I didn't tell him you are going to get first rank, but I didn't see that spark. I told him you will be in top 500%. I have this screenshot. He got rank 3. Right. So I was confident about his optional and the kind of answer he was writing. The discipline. These people have this discipline. They come in normal dress, night pant and whatever they are wearing. They don't care about others' opinion. They don't care about others. The only thing is how can I improve? Right? Come for feedback. And they would wait for few days, 1 week, even if I am not available. Never feel bad about it. Complain about it. Come another day. Meanwhile, do another thing. What ordinary people do is they don't get appointment, they don't get feedback. They stop doing things. Right? These people will do another thing. Meanwhile, do optional or something else. So when the sir gives feedback, I'll write another essay or something like this. Right? So these are the some changes in the attitude that you should make. So that is what maybe I hopefully when I start coming here, when we start coming here, we start seeing those sparks, those kind of attributes in you guys also. So many of you have guys, everybody cannot be first rank. But I hope there is going to be an healthy competition between you, among you for the first rank. I can tell you it is easy. Like now I believe if I had Vinay Kumar in 2006, I would have got first rank. Somebody to mentor, somebody to just tell me it is easy to get first rank. Don't overcomplicate this exam. Don't say it is mother of all exams, toughest exam in the world. Right? This is all nonsense. All it requires is discipline, belief in your own abilities, right guidance, simplifying the whole process. Don't stress out, don't take stress. Thinking, the competition is so tough. She is scoring so many good marks. He is writing so many essays and answers. Stop comparing. Even if you start in the month of February as a fresher, you can still be in top 100. Believe me, it is possible. It is just a belief. I tell whenever people say I am making notes, sir, tell, why are you making notes? Sachin Gupta has uploaded notes. Anudeep has uploaded notes. Hyderabad, like example. There are so many notes in the market, right? Again, why do you want to make notes? Can you make better notes than what these toppers do? Simply take the notes, memorize it, and go to exam. Right? You will still get 280, minimum 280 marks. Now, why you should make notes to score 320, 330, something like that? Right? That is there. There should be some individuality in your answers. Then only you will score 320. You cannot just copy somebody's notes and expect to get 320, 330 or like score like 362. Recently, Lakshmi, our own student, ranked 45. She got ranked 45, like 362 marks in anthropology. More than the mathematics, the first rank. Make sure that minimum marks you are going to get is 280. Right? So first, be perfect in that. So after that, what you can do individually, do that. Maybe in the month of November, December, or after prelims also some 20 days, you can actually do it. Another problem is from topic when you want to make notes, better notes, perfect notes, you are not sure of the concepts, right? It applies GS also. Why do you want to make notes on history, art and culture? Here too, no improvement is also needed. What is there already, it is there in the market. So stop running behind notes, start running behind writing answers. Apply your knowledge. Read any one source, perfect it. This Sachin Gupta had some one-page notes for each and every topic. Just within one page, he would have 5, 10, 15, 20 facts. For 3 years, he had only that much. For entire static. He never read anything new before the exam for static. Secure used to follow as part of current affairs on the test series. But nothing new for the static component. So I tell people already has made notes, you take it. Recently we had Vijay Balatin from Andhra, he got IPS. So he was there, like I saw his notes, he scored very good marks in GS papers. And he is a very smart guy, first attempt he has done that. What he had done was, from secure, choose topic selectively. So choose topics selectively, and how to choose selectively? Those who are in the news regularly are analyzing the past trend. So in paper and mains, the society part is very important because the trend is to make paper more subjective. The questions are more asked from that part. So there is always a question on secularism. There is always a question on women issues. There is always a question on urbanization. There is always, every year there will be this question. When you know on this topic the question is going to come, the sensible thing to do is have ready some facts. So instead of reading, society textbook on each and every topic, the best thing to do is be selective, right? On them, perfect first all these things. Have one notes which is not again getting diversified. Something else you read again. Don't be tempted by that. In 150 words, you can write maximum 5, 6 unique examples. In 15 markers, some 10, 12 unique points you can write. Not more than that. So I have some 20 facts ready for each and every topic. Okay. If you are selective, now some of you will feel that IPM there is so much to read, so less time. The solution is that read selective. For art and culture, there is always a question on Buddhism, right? Some form of painting and all. So in the mains, the questions are not too specific; they are like wide, right? Broad. So be selective in that. So you should know that there are some topics on which there are no questions asked, right? Leave them out. Be courageous and leave them out. On topics which it is regularly asked, just make notes and come to the IPM. So again, don't try to take one art and culture book, consuming entirely. That won't be possible. Okay. So, till now, is it clear? Some of your doubts cleared? How to go about the preparation? There is so much to share, but I don't want to overburden you on the same day. Just remember the entire session's essence is to change your attitude, change your mindset. Right? So your preparation must be holistic, disciplined. And again, my sincere request, when you walk out of this path, don't lose that inspiration, don't lose that. Okay? Don't listen it and we'll upload this video on YouTube. Keep watching it. If you haven't made notes or if you don't remember some of the things, these actually help. Like after like 1 or 2 years, I hope some of you will come and say that it was kind of enlightening. Was it enlightening? Yes or no? So did you get some new insights? Huh? That should not be just getting. You should have to practice them. So some of you should come and say, okay, this was an eye opener. I believed in what you said. We started following them and started seeing the result. And I am topper because of not you, because I followed what you gave the template. The success is always yours. You earn it. Right? Any institution which says that because of you became a topper is a fool and is fooling. Right? So our contribution is 1%. We tell you what to do, how to do. That is the easiest thing, but we know these work. But implementing whatever is said, I know it is extremely difficult. So do it on a regular basis. But you will have to do it, right? Because you are ambitious. You have ambition to, do so many things for the country. So imagine billions of people will be affected by what we are going to do in the future. And what you need to do, read NCRT, the write answers, take pen, papers. It's so easy, right? I mean, imagine Mary Kom, imagine. She has to win medal in World Championship or Olympics. Every day, Sindhu, you know the story better than anyone else. Sindhu. Starting early, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, to the academy, training for only 16 hours. Right? Having only a specific amount of food which you don't face. You can eat anything. Right? They have control on diet. There must be so much discipline. Funding problem. And the competition is so tough. You are not doing like that. What you are doing, you have AC classrooms, AC reading rooms. All you need to do is take textbook and people complain about that. That is the most annoying part. So I should read, write. Okay, any doubts? Yes.
Sir, my name is Ramesh.
Yeah.
So last year I holistically followed the INSIGHTS current affairs.
Okay.
Daily I'm spending 1.5 hours.
So to read the current affairs.
And daily I'm having the states current affairs MCQs. So at the end I didn't
Revise.
able to have any clarity about how to solve the current affairs weekly test examination.
Okay. Fine.
Because of the current affairs I took the prelims last year. So how to prepare the current affairs? So that holistically get the clarity of current affairs.
Okay. I got your question. So what is saying is that you followed current affairs regularly, and then how to use the current affairs which you follow regularly on a daily basis, so that your scores in prelims are improved, which you can apply. Then, if you see the trend in prelims when it comes to current affairs, past 2 years the trend has been the questions are now being picked from editorials. Have any observed? Have some of you? They are senior players, they will tell you. Okay. From the editorials, they are actually picking the questions. Now the conventional current affairs, very static one, they are leaving it out. So, if there is waste management rules, if there is an editorial, so it will cover the factual component and the analytical component. Right? So that is triggering their thought process and they are asking questions where the options are very kind of analytical, very close, right? So what you need to do, in addition to reading our current affairs, again, don't make notes out of that current affairs. That itself is already ready-made notes, right, for you from diverse sources. Two things you need to do. One is, you will remember current affairs through questioning. Second, compulsorily you will have to write secure, even for prelims. Right? You select like 3-4 articles which are directly related to the syllabus. Definitely write secure. Like it might sound strange to you, but past two attempts, the opinion is that if somebody follows secure regularly, they are scoring good marks in prelims. And when the synopsis is out, monthly synopsis, from that, on every question you make very small notes, right? Very, very small notes, not the very exhaustive ones. Secondly, the revision of current affairs on day-to-day basis. Usually, we have come up with a method for secure. We ask you to make notes today, write answers tomorrow based on memory, right? The same current affairs, what you can do, whatever current affairs you read today, revise it tomorrow through the 10 questions. Like just give half an hour to that every day. That revision, that is why we are bringing, yesterday's current affairs, we usually don't revise. So if we revise through questions, that problem will actually solve. And then revision before every test, prelim test, whatever current affairs you read in the intervening period. So revise that entire current affairs, the current affairs questions, and come to the test. So over the period in 2 and 3 months, you will see that whatever current affairs you have read, you will actually remember and start applying them. The applying current affairs is part of the secure initiative. Okay. So that is a difficult thing to do, but that is the solution to the question you have asked. Now, seeing, any other questions? You have any other questions? Yeah? Yes, yes. Yeah. Recently we started that. So we are calling it as RTM, we are giving name to everything because people identify through names. It's called as RTU, revision through MCQs. So after every day, like yesterday's current affair, whatever is there, on that we post 10 questions today. Do solve it compulsory. 10 already which is going on, 10 is different. You will remember INSIGHTS current affairs by heart over the period of time. So we recently, looking at people are getting so stressed out, sometimes depressed. So we are the first institution in India to hire psychotherapists, right? So it is like funny, maybe, but it's needed actually. So as I can actually, talk about preparation, guide you. Because I've been doing that, some people come up with their personal problem also, but we cannot specifically identify. We can just calm you down, but we cannot address it symptomatically. What is the problem? So for that, we are the first institution. We have hired actually psychotherapist. She comes regularly in our institution. Some people go there, they are coming up with happy faces. Because you have to accept if you're facing certain problem, you will have to speak to somebody, right? And then maybe when we are big here in Hyderabad, we'll bring that also. And at the same time, there is this INSIGHTS IAS. So why we are doing it is to, as part of civil services preparation, you get so much of content which is not born out of your experience, right? You know the theoretical aspect, but when a speaker comes and shares their experiences, you will be able to relate to it, right? So for example, we had Anil Swarup sir and Gopi Chaudhary. Whenever they speak, even if like 1 line, 2 line, it is so rich of concepts and experiences, right? So that in the early phase of your preparation, it is like what in Labasna people sleep. The same people come and talk. In Labasna they don't listen to. Already I'm IAS, right? But in the aspirant phase, if it is done, you are all ears to what they are about to say because still the dream is there, right? You ask if you have any IAS friends or IPS friends, they recently it happened, in the Narendra Modi came to Labasna and There was a session, some of them were sleeping, he noticed. And he asked question, did you watch my previous video? Something or I think, I don't know what is the topic. These people had the courage to say no also, some of them. So the courage is rare commodity nowadays. So some of them said no. Some of them couldn't recall. You know the face of the Prime Minister, the reaction to that. So you haven't watched my video, like something he didn't say, but he was angry. So the director noticed that, the academy director, that the Prime Minister is angry now, right? So what is the solution? So after your batch is useless, something or he or she blamed them, and then invited them as a punishment. Everybody come here. Then they played the old video. You watch it, this video, not one time, total. You watch it. Like school children, you know. So why did I come up with this? Yeah, Ignite. So as part of Ignite, why I brought this up is, so you will listen to these things, okay, in this phase. But once you become IAS, it doesn't matter whether it's Prime Minister or Home Minister, I don't know. You might all wake up. You don't know who is watching. SIA, law, yes. So there is static quiz 5 questions. You just solve it, okay, randomly. So treat it as, something to do, something to improve your skill. Then we have 5 daily current affairs quiz. So these are apart from what is there in current affairs. And then RTF 10 questions. So 20 questions we are giving as part of, like, it is excuse for us to give you more questions. So that at least then you will solve some questions. Any other doubts?
The evaluation be Telugu medium first.
Evaluation will be?
For Telugu medium students, there will be evaluation.
For the students?
Telugu medium.
Telugu, right now we haven't figured out. So if you can get a mentor who can evaluate, we'll try. We are doing in Kannada medium. But Telugu, how many of you are there who are writing in Telugu medium?
Actually, this year,
Like one or two.
actually,
Like my suggestion, if your English is good, don't write in Telugu medium. No, I'm very serious about it because there is that again trying to punish people who are writing in their own language. The numbers are decreasing steadily. It doesn't matter which language. Kannada, there used to be 3-4 people, Kannada medium. Now it has come down to none. Right? The Hindi also same. Hindi shockingly earlier there used to be like 10-20 people. Now there is no. I think I had only 1 or 2 people have played with Hindi medium. Right? Telugu. After Ronaki, I don't think anyone played with Telugu medium. Do you have anyone? Yeah. Okay, we wrote in Telugu medium.
actually this year I wrote Telugu medium mains.
Okay. So if possible, like hopefully you won't write another mains, but in case if you have to write, if your English basic, you don't need hyper English or anything. Decent level English. So I feel like you know that maybe some other motion that you took Telugu medium, go with English medium, that is better for you. In which year? Like changing, no? Nobody is there. I'm saying the numbers are reducing. 1, 2, something like this. I don't know the reason, but that is the trend we are seeing. You can take the mic. It is not on.
From when and onwards, you are planning to start this institute from your classes?
So from the not classes, the Yeah, test series we are starting right now. If either of our students start loving us, then maybe the classes also in future. So from 21st we are starting the test series. So admissions will happen from tomorrow itself. If you are interested, and then we have 50% offer with girls. First introduction. Okay, thanks. You know what is going in the heads of all the males here, but somehow we believe that actually, I mean, not any gimmick or anything. For experience, we need more representation. So if someone, politicians are unwilling to start in the private sector, right? Private sphere, people may not be appreciating, but we are starting these things. So as part of our, we are like, believe it or not, we are genuinely concerned about you people, the students. So why I was an aspirant myself. So I exhausted my attempts. There were 4 attempts in 2010. So I've been through this cycle. If I can help somebody to come out of the cycle, right? So when you are in that cycle, you know what happens with you, the relationships. It can be parents, it can be boyfriend, girlfriend, or any other issues. I mean, it's so disturbing, right? Stressful because you fight, you take random decisions, the frustration, everything. When there is a solution to this, so if somebody can give the solution, good.
From literature also we can.
Literature, yeah, there is misconception. Literature, they are not targeting actually. So what happened in literature when it comes to literature, their expectations are gone right. In terms of expecting the quality of answer, they started seeing a trend where people who were opting literature, they were priority from some coaching material, using language, not in its original sense, qualitatively. So they wanted to attack the trend. Those were providing quality in their answers in any optional are always scoring 323, that is. Those were making extra efforts, adding their own individuality, originality to their answers. So with respect, if somebody has literature as optional, read original textbooks. For some important topics, make your own notes. Enrich, it applies to other optionals. But as I said, first prepare the base, first read one material thoroughly. After that, try to enrich your answers. So it is not like UPSC targeting any of. They will target only when the numbers are too high to balance it out. Right? If Athro now it is there in the range of 1,000, 1,500, I think. Those who are writing mains, the number of people. If it reaches 3,000, it will be brought down. But again, not drastically like compared or geography, because it's not too subjective compared to those options. Even when they target anthropology, they still expect to score 300, 290 easily. But no, not kind of 330, 360 won't be possible after 2022. So 2020, 21, if your anthropology get a rank and escape. Any other doubts?
So how to plan optional side by side of this?
So how to plan optional? I keep telling fix 2 to 3 hours every day in your routine. Okay. Then again, optional, focus more on being very selective based on the previous year trend. Compulsorily make notes on optional, your own notes, original notes for selected very important topics. Right? And on them keep writing answers. So how to plan means January end must be your target to complete optional. Right? It can be like one time reading, 2 time reading, making notes, writing answers. But writing answers must be part of it. Must be done by end of January, maximum by February. After that, you shouldn't touch optional. At the same time, if you join, this IPM or other GS test series, don't join optional test series right now. Okay. So try to write your own answers based on previous year questions. So after prelims, you can join the test series. Should be only application of the knowledge. after the prelims. It shouldn't be, learning new things in the optional. Whatever you want to learn, do it right. That is the broader plan. So the micro plan within must be writing some 300 answers by end of February. Any other doubts? Somebody wanted to ask from here. Just what are any doubts? That is the marks have come down. So there are scores like 310, 320, but it has become rare. Right. So in Kannada, Balaji also scored very good marks. So he is posted in Andhra now. I'm seeing the trend. Those who actually love the literature, those have internalized, those who use that kind of language, both in writing and speaking, they are regularly scoring 300 plus. But earlier, anybody could score because of the material available. Post 2016, where they noticed, many people with literature, like hundreds of people with literature, got ranks, lucky fellows per year. Right? After that, they started targeting. Targeting in the sense, expectation increased. Because they allow the same trend to continue. Even the literature will suffer. You are learning only for the sake of marks. So that is there. Making this exam more intellectual in a kind of way, it is there for the principal. So we should appreciate. So this is a merit-based exam where you are rewarded because of your hard work. So give everything. Don't unnecessarily focus on other exams. UPSC and all. If somebody is exclusively preparing for that, my sincere suggestion is focus on UPSC only, but apply these exams and go and write. Don't neglect them. I'm not asking you not to write. Apply for all the exams, but prepare only for UPSC. Let your 100% focus be on UPSC, because these, APPSC and UPSC exams, what usually happens is they get dragged. There are so many political factors, corrupt factors. They go to court, then you will have to follow it up. So you will lose focus. So as byproduct of your UPSC level preparation, you will naturally clear this exam. Maybe just 10 days, 15 days before the exam, you can just revise state specific things and go to the exam. But as an overall preparation, don't focus on any one exam other than UPSC. So are you happy that Insights has come to Hyderabad? Yes. Genuinely happy. Yes. Thank you very much. This is so encouraging. Because there is some kind of hostility between institutions and students everywhere. And many students who have walked out of our institution, either as toppers or either as students, they have these fond memories. Wherever we encounter. In Delhi, in the old Rajendra Nagar, you see them. Nowadays, they are so respectful, so caring, loving. So that attitude, when I ask why it is, so because of the fond memories in, Insights in Bangalore. Because we leave our doors open. For example, if some of you want to, if you join the IPM, again, not for everyone. If you want to come and sit and study here, we don't say, no, show your ID. Put a bouncer here and so we won't do all those things. So we generally believe any open space where you can freely interact, freely discuss, will enhance your personality, will improve your personality. Any other doubts? Make it available through photocopy. Anybody can use the timetable. So everything happened suddenly. But in 3-4 days we'll properly settle down and we can get the hard copy of the timetable. These are small issues.
Sir, how could we organize, how you conduct prelims and the main parallel was not clear in the website. Means
the IPM or the
IPM. I'm speaking about IPM.
Okay.
So how it would be organized, between the time between prelims station and main station?
So there is only one day gap we are giving. So So after the mains, you will have 1 day gap for the prelims test. For example, say like 6 days you have to prepare for the mains test to answer 20 questions. After that, we are giving you 1 day for revision from prelims perspective to attend the to write the prelim test. So in these 5 days, you will have to prepare. The best bet is to prepare from mains point of view. The prelims will be automatically taken care of. So did I answer your question?
Yes.
Anything else? No, that is different. So there is another test series, 3.5 months test series, which will end by February. So it is mainly for people who are not satisfied in their mains preparation. That is one category. Those who want to, by February intensively write only mains related stuff and improve their marks. Second category is those who have completed through coaching all the syllabus by month of October. Those who want to test their answer writing skills only from mains point of view, but you may be very confident of prelims already. So for them, we are starting this 3.5 month mains test series. If somebody is concerned with optional preparation, they see ITM as too hectic for me now, my mains answer writing, then you can go for 3.5 months mains test series. That will be very helpful. Number one thing it does is it will definitely improve your answer writing speed. So if you have the confidence of writing 20 answers before prelims, that is the biggest gain actually. You don't have to waste 1 month in that after prelims. Yeah, we will be bringing astro, geography, political science, and what else? Okay. These 4 we are planning to bring. Yeah. So the core batch will have an entrance exam. So there are one core batch is already going in Bangalore. It's a full-fledged course. But we want to bring limited core batch like 2.5 months, where every alternate day you will have a test. That is meant for only one kind of people who have completely done with their optional and their syllabus and confident about prelims. So what it does is most of our toppers are from core batch. It will improve both speed, your knowledge, confidence, everything. But it will have limited numbers. For Hyderabad, maybe like 40 50 students who complete an exam. So any other doubts? All of you had breakfast? No? Breakfast chesavu. So what is your answer? Chesavu. Yeah. Chesavu. Really nice line. Especially in movie, it is music. But they sound too much. Any other doubts? Should we wind up or like we want to learn more about other aspects of the exam related to mains, interview? Feel free to ask questions. That's what one of the highest marks in interview, 210 marks. You can ask about interview also. Your doubts. Somebody has written mains. Yes, you wanted to ask. Yes. The IPM will be better. Yes. Secure and 3.5. Okay. No, it is entirely different. Secure, ISI is a learning thing. Test series is where you apply your knowledge and improve your skills. They are separate. In terms of time, learning may be similar, but coming to the classroom, writing the test is entirely different experience. So if you want to improve your writing skills, the writing speed, go to any one of these, join any one of these tests, 100% will be better. So can somebody just highlight few things what we discussed? What should be part of your life as an aspirant to get IAS or good rank? I want to just to know whether you caught or understood the essence of this whole talk. Can somebody give few things?
Being focused
Good.
and being consistent.
Very good. And what else? What are the two things that must be there as part of your daily preparation? Answer writing and solving MCQs. So why should you solve MCQs daily? To improve our skills, right? Skills of elimination, intelligent guessing. At the same time, as a stress buster also. Treat it as like that. The mains to improve our analytical skills. Because yeah, you want to come here and say about it? Yeah, so revision should be your mantra. So, yes.
Sir, my name is Varsha, and I will start from where the previous sir started.
Okay.
So it was asked us to take eagle as the inspiration, and it's because of few things like focus and bird's eye view, etc. And then you started off facts and analysis part, which both are important for clearing prelims and mains. And then you spoke about two important things that we have to do as part of daily routine, solving the MCQs and then writing the mains answers. And the three traits which you mentioned, that belief in self, potential, and the guide, and redesigning the routine and consistency. These are the three key factors. And in essay, you will have to interlink the concepts which you're giving in GS and then give interdisciplinary approach and multiple dimensions to the examiner. And when it comes to prelim strategy for scoring 110 plus, you will have to do selective reading of most important topics. And before giving the mock exam, the previous day post lunch, you have to revise all the selective.
Double 9 0 1 1 59780. So on Telegram or WhatsApp you can directly message.
Sir, the detailed schedule is available for IPM now.
Which one? Yeah, revise.
IPM schedule. Is it available?
The revise is not yet available on the online. So today we will post it. We'll get the hard copy. So you just message me, you say like I'm from Hyderabad branch. So this is my query. I take my own time, but I do reply. It is very genuine query. So any other doubts? So start your preparation and new note from today. If you have already been following the way I told you, further be consistent. If you are not doing this kind of preparation, then you start. You will actually see within 1 or 2 months so much improvement in your abilities, your growth, which shouldn't be given nowadays. So it is getting reinforced. Other day, one guy from Chennai called me and said that after watching your video, I got my answer. Till then I was clueless why I scored, 60. Well, like suddenly 40, 50 marks are reduced in one paper, you are out of the list. In GM category, 35 marks, minus 35 marks, you are out.
The contradiction is I got 144 in SAB books.
Yeah.
At the same time, I got 69.
So yes, I believe that doesn't come get too much of it, but from this year it will. Let's say there was no drastic reduction in marks. It would have been like 40, 50. That was so evident. So I believe those who are coming to evaluate essay is still rational and objective. But this year the topics were like that biased media is threat to Indian democracy. If somebody attempts that topic and writes the topic and attacks government and all, I don't know what will happen. So you should know the trend of the exam. I am the first one to talk about it openly. My videos and everywhere. I am not afraid of it. At the same time, I invite BJP people to come and talk. This is democracy, right? I should be free to talk about what I think. You feel free to counter it if you have facts.
I mentioned counting criticism in my exam.
that is what mentioning those examples, how vigilantism, Godra and all dangerous. So anything else? Kind of thinking process. That makes you prisoner of the past, never allows you to proceed, grow as a person. Okay, we'll wind up. So all the best. I'm very happy to see you all here. Thank you very much.